What day is it? What year?
Who are you to even think you can know the difference between good and evil?
I love movies.
What are you doing?
Yet from an infinite number of possibilities, you had to pick this one.
Fiction. I love watching them.
It's a perfectly valid explanation.
I got that beat.
Film. Cinema.
I'm your Huckleberry.
I want you to remember this moment. The way it could have gone didn't.
When does the pain end and the pleasure begin?
Ready, Freddy.
Got my little things going.
2?
This is
Just
episode
guess.
3.
Yes.
3.
It's episode 3.
3, 4.
I only know because I have the Google Doc open.
Oh shit, there's a Google.
Wait, there was a Google Doc?
Can you guys hear me okay?
There was a movie?
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
Yes.
Where's the Where's the Google Doc?
It's in the drive. I don't know. Do you guys have access to it? Michael gave it to me.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I posted it in the.
I mean, probably.
we gotta get work on
I
our
know.
communication.
That's why you post links in Slack, dude.
What? What?
Post a link in Slack.
I did post a link in Slack.
Oh. Alright, that's my fault.
Who's the drinking noises? Michael?
Amy, that
Is that
coffee
you
drink
gulping?
was really delicious.
What?
What is it? It sounded like the thing you were drinking earlier.
Yeah, it was delicious.
Oh yeah, the Dalgona coffee. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
I guess we can talk about it right
Talk
now.
about it right now. Yeah.
Okay. So some sorcerer discovered that if you whip equal parts instant coffee, hot water, and sugar together with a hand mixer, it makes this really awesome foam, this delicious coffee flavored foam. And you spoon it on top of some milk with ice, and then you kind of mix it together because it's super duper thick and you can't really drink it when it's just spooned on top, but it makes this awesome coffee drink.
Yeah, like this awesome light coffee drink. It's like,
We're probably going to be up until 3 o'clock in the morning because of the amount of caffeine in this drink, but
yeah.
it makes you feel like you're drinking a really expensive, sweet kind of coffee drink from, I don't know, like Starbucks or something.
Yeah.
Super easy though. I just whipped it with a hand mixer and it was frothy and delicious and sweet. I put some vanilla extract and a little bit of cinnamon in there for some flavor.
Oh man.
I'm going to be making this every day for the rest of the quarantine.
Alright, so we should definitely if you check the show notes, there'll be a link to the recipe. If somebody does the show notes.
I'll try to put something together. Yeah, episode 3. Bro safe nerd alert.
Yeah, this is
What is today? Today's 4/16. We're like 5 weeks into quarantine.
Yeah.
I feel like we're 5 years into quarantine, honestly, and I'm still going to work every day, but
Yeah, right.
I am living a nightmare.
It's
that sucks.
it's a funny.
No, it's been. Yep.
Go ahead, John.
No, I was gonna say, yeah. Go ahead.
I was like, it's a funny apocalypse. It's like everything but the zombies. It feels like where are my zombies?
I feel, and that's what I feel probably the most ripped off about that there are no zombies. I mean, like we were supposed to be able to unite against some sort of, they're already dead, so it's okay to kill them sort of enemy.
Right,
you
right.
know?
Let's go out
I'm
and
so
murder.
disappointed. Yeah, together we'll murder the undead together. That's what we need.
Oh yeah. So I was gonna promise to get our shout outs out for our people that messaged. So I'll go ahead and get that out of the way. To our 3 super fans that dropped a like. We have fans in New England, in California, and good old Brunswick. Cool. So Mike Zubak, Antoinette, and Brian, how's it going?
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Woo!
Appreciate it.
Today we've got a bunch of shit for you guys to listen to.
This movie is so weird.
Which one?
RoboCop?
Yes. But we can. I don't know.
Are we jumping right to RoboCop?
I mean, we can touch back and forth on it too. I've got a bunch of things that we can get up here.
All right.
Let's see.
So what's been going on in everybody's lives since we last convened?
Oh man.
Anything exciting going on for anybody?
I've just been playing in the yard. That's what I've been. I've every moment that I'm not, at least during the week when I'm not working, I'm out in the yard working and building things, improvised construction.
Improvised explosive devices.
Yeah.
No, you've been building some really cool stuff. It's been
Yeah, dude. Every post
cool to
you've
see
been
the
making,
greenhouse
it's like,
and
what?
the little hangout spot come together.
Oh my
Yeah, I've
God.
been following your progress. I'm really impressed.
Thank you. My the greenhouse was for my mother, and she loves it. She is in there every day, and every day there's more. It's a little bit more green, and sometimes I just see her in there hanging out. It's really adorable.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cute.
No, it looks really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude, you've really been pushing away at that. Like you're gonna have a own little garden like utopia back there.
Well, I'm still seeing if it's a viable form of exercise, right? Like that's
Right.
part of what I do when I go out there is I try to like lift some lumber around and move some stuff around, and or build something really heavy and then try to lift it, and I haven't hurt myself yet, thankfully. So nice.
Sorry.
Christ, dude.
All right, let me do another intro, I guess.
Yeah, we have to start the episode over because we can't say it.
Because we just spent 5 minutes talking about illegal Brunswick shit.
I mean, it's,
All right.
we always
All
got to
right,
get
well,
the
let's-
giggles out first, right? All right. Happy Easter! Welcome to our quarantine stream. We've got toilet paper and supplies, and so our apocalypse is averted for another month. And today we're talking about Robocop. I'd buy that for $1. Chris?
Love it. Absolutely love it. So-
Jesus.
That was well done.
So I screwed up. I didn't actually watch the film, but I'll tell you, I can still speak to my perspective of when I saw it when I was like 18, and I thought it was the most amazing thing ever.
I mean, it's still pretty damn good. I mean, it's weird, but
I feel like it's
great.
held up.
Oh,
I
really?
love it. I mean, I
think it's scary how well it holds up.
Yeah.
To be honest.
The thing that jumped out at to me the most is just that Verhoeven, I'm probably not saying his name right. He like loves doing these satirical films, and like Starship Troopers. There's a lot of similarities between RoboCop and Starship Troopers, like with the integrated shower scene, like police force and military and stuff like that. Like this, there was a bunch of little shots that I noticed. I was like, oh, that is in Starship Troopers too. Like that's cool.
Well, I think that's what's interesting with satire, right? It's there's a truth element to it, and then it's turning a lot of things on their head.
Right.
And so I think there's like a distraction of, oh, it's this integrated shower, or like just the violence, the absurdity of like the violence, like
right
shooting RoboCop over and over and over again.
Oh, dude.
And
I mean, I was reading some stuff about the movie that I totally didn't even know about. Was that like when they did that scene, they actually did that last. Like they ran out of money, and then he had to go basically hat in hand to the producers and say like, well, we didn't shoot that scene. Can we have some more money? Because they were running over budget.
What do you mean,
And
like Peter Weller's death scene, kind of?
Yeah,
where
yeah.
They're like
And I mean-
blowing his arm off with a shotgun and everything.
It's still so disturbing. Like I remember watching it when I was a kid and being disturbed by it, and it's still disturbing today. I was like, ooh, like that's no good.
but that's what's I think that's what's funny with
Right.
it is, and it's the same with Starship Troopers, is like that's the thing that you think you should be like angry about,
right.
but it's the fact that the corporations, like all these nonprofit sectors, like hospitals and prisons and military, like what that's not true.
And he slips those in there.
Those are like the most profitable areas. What are you talking about? They're like, oh, we're going to give them back by putting this board member killing robot.
Oh God, what was that thing? Todd. Wait, what is that robot called again?
Yeah, I don't even.
Yeah, like
Here, I'll look it up.
the
Was that like
five-legged robot?
Ed 2000?
Ed 209 or something?
Ed
Yeah.
209 or Ed 2000
Yeah.
or something? Yeah.
I mean, there's just all this stuff about that movie that was so cool that I realized like it almost didn't happen. You know, it was like this perfect confluence of timing and all this shit that kind of came together to allow that to happen. Like, and they were saying how like that movie wouldn't have worked if they didn't have Terminator before it to kind of show that like, oh, you could have these sort of cyborgian dystopian sci-fi films kind of.
Well, even the practical shots, I guess, are kind of similar, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I guess the
Oh,
technology
totally.
would have been.
and like they almost didn't get the design right for the costume, and like they finished it like up until like a day before they actually needed it.
Jeez.
You know, and you had to sit there, and it like took 10 hours to put him in the suit and stuff like that. Just all these random cool things that I was like, damn, like you don't realize the struggles that they went through to make that movie work.
Well, and but then you think about like a modern Marvel movie, like that's expected.
Yeah.
Like your
Yeah.
lead actor in these like super expensive produced films are going to be sitting there doing the same amount of makeup that they used to have
Right,
to do.
right.
Even remember why I feel like that cat meme, the like a really old cat meme from when memes were first a thing, where it was like, I cannot brain today, I has the dumb.
Oh
That's
yeah.
how I feel. That's how I feel doing a podcast on a Thursday night, like in the middle of the work week.
Yeah, I got a
Right.
little bit of that going on too, but I think I can power through and
You
yuck
gonna
it up.
rally?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you guys want to do round table, I'll just go first. I got
Mhm.
I got a bunch of seeds started. I mean, a few weeks ago that the food supply chain was going to start breaking down, probably like for packaging and things like that. And then I heard on CNN a couple of days ago that it actually is happening, and like they're closing down meat packing plants and stuff like that, and things are going to be more and more scarce now. So I was like, oh man, I'm sure glad I got the corn and the tomatoes and the onions and the carrots all started.
Yeah, we'll have plenty of
Absolutely.
scallions in the apocalypse.
Yeah, we'll have plenty of tomatoes to share.
The boiled water will taste real good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're growing a shit ton of veggies over here. We're doubling what we made, what we grew last year, and we couldn't give it all away. You know,
This has been fun for Jack though, because
Yeah.
we pulled him out of school for a couple of weeks, and so this was like his project with his dad when they were home. They started all the seeds in little cups, and then they're finally they tore up the backyard, and they finally put everything into the ground. And so when Jack went back to school, he was super excited to tell all of his friends about all the seeds that he had started while he was home. He's a little
Yeah, definitely try to turn
little
some of this
gardener
into little
baby.
like yeah, exactly. Some of these like little science experiments and stuff, like doing the seed germination
Right.
and trying to transplant it, and
You
I don't know, try and find something in the something.
I know. I
Really.
mean, that's why I was gonna talk about that. Like you guys noticed that, like, there's all this stuff about people like losing their minds and going stir crazy. But I thought Chris said something like, if you have a hobby, then you're doing just fine. Because that's what I
Well,
feel like.
all right. So if we want to rewind to what I would say the origin of that, I mean, in relation to us, is I think I probably made some sort of smartass comment to you at some point of like, well, if you're doing that, then you need a hobby. And I think the way that I communicated that, I don't know, it wasn't to you, but it was to somebody else online. And so I just posted an image of a ship in a bottle.
Right.
If you remember, the ship in the bottle was probably our first joke that we
Never.
shared.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but seriously, I mean, just having something to occupy your time, and also just making, and even if it's for whatever purpose, just making. I saw my girlfriend was building. She was making jewelry last weekend. And that was really cool. And I of course have been doing woodworking, and it's been a major part of my mental health regimen.
I mean, John, you have more kids than all of us combined. How are you doing over there?
You have more kids than all of Brunswick combined.
No, I mean, I don't know. They're young enough that they're fairly resilient, I think. And I mean, there's been some growing pains, but for the most part, we've kind of settled into some kind of rhythm.
Cool.
That's good. Not crawling up your butt too much.
No, it's fine. I mean, even at work, like everyone just is. You're like a kid comes flying into frame when you're talking to somebody. Like that's fine. It's normal.
Right.
It's probably expected at this point.
Someone's kid's butt's like up in front of the camera. Like, all right, I gotta go change a diaper now. I'll be right back.
Yeah. See, now, and I love that, because 2 months ago, that's the one downside of telework, is you literally had to. The expectation, maybe I was putting this on myself, but the expectation was that you basically run your house like a mausoleum while you're teleworking, and nobody can even breathe if they're on the same floor as the house as you are,
Right.
And I'm so glad that that's gone, because like that's pressure that I had to put on my family to, oh, it's work time, it's just the sacred silent hours,
Right.
Can you just stop existing for 8 hours while I telework?
Yeah.
Kind of a thing.
Yeah. And I mean, and even after Domenico was old enough to start going to school, he'd still here for summers and, so, and Angie's 9-year-old Daniel is here during the day, and Domenico actually tutors him, and so rather than put him in daycare, or anything, because
Oh, that's awesome.
she works at the hospital. Yeah, so, and he's
Yeah,
just
she's essential.
yeah, she is. She's definitely essential. And Daniel's just been a real gem about it. But even when if he has to say something to me and I'm in a meeting, it's not a big deal. And it would have been a big deal 2 months ago.
I'm essential. Like that guy in Schindler's List.
Come with me.
I am an essential worker.
Essential worker.
Yes.
Oh
No? Anybody?
no!
Okay.
Can we cut? We're
Guess I
cutting that
won't go
out,
there.
right?
The lighter side of Schindler's List.
Oh Lord!
Hey, so I'm going to institute a new rule right now since Chris never watches the movie. I'm going to start to say when
Oh,
Chris
God.
doesn't watch the movie, I'm going to assign him a really bad movie to watch. Or
right.
a really good movie that's like bad
Yeah.
as well, but I don't know, something. Or if like we lose a bet or do something like that and you guys want to like say, here, you have to go watch this movie now.
Ooh, a punishment
would be-
film.
that would be
love
fun.
that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to give like a 5-minute review.
Pain
Yeah.
cast.
I mean, I watched this movie, but I feel like I forgot everything about it.
I mean,
I honestly got
Like,
halfway through.
I forgot everything I wanted to say about it. I was like, oh yeah, I wanted to watch RoboCop for a very specific reason, and I don't remember why.
Yeah, it's like if we don't remember like what it was when the moment takes us, good luck.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I think watching there were some interesting themes, like because we have to deal with like contact tracing, right?
Yeah,
And so Google and Apple basically knows where every human is, and so you're looking at whether you leverage that kind of technology and you tie it back to RoboCop. We have this like automated police force, and I think one's a silly metaphor, and then the other is like a real thing that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
And it sounds reasonable when you're trying to make sure people don't get sick.
For sure.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
agree.
I
There's
resisted.
definitely the so if we want to just kind of that dovetails into like a current events like this week, Maryland is making masks mandatory. They're already mandatory in several counties in Maryland, and I am definitely seeing some people are just super assed up about them losing their freedoms because putting a mask on so you don't spread your pandemic to other people is somehow a slippery slope towards a totalitarianism or something.
is that your assed up of the week comment? I'm gonna
Yeah,
throw in the buzzer right here.
Yeah. Put the buzzer in. I'm assed up about people who are assed up. There we go.
Nice.
I will say that I feel like for a lot of people, wearing a mask in public gives you like a false sense of security. I don't know how many fights I got into with people on
Yeah.
the OG page about masks. I'm like, it's not about protecting you. It's like the mask
Right.
isn't going to keep shit out. The mask is going to keep your shit in. Like
Yep.
if you're coughing and sneezing
Yeah.
and you got all the droplets, it's going
Right.
to provide a barrier for the droplets, but you're still going to get all the germs of the world all over your mask. And if you're taking it off improperly, there's a good chance that you're going to contaminate yourself. Just like gloves. Like I see people wearing the same pair of gloves everywhere they go. Grocery store, they're
Really?
touching the produce, they're touching the packaged foods, they're touching their phone, they're pulling out their wallet, they're not changing their gloves, they're not washing their hands, and it's just like you just got the entire grocery store all over your hands. Like it's a false sense of security kind of a thing. So I just
Especially
I don't know.
Especially when people
I
are
wear a mask
stupid
in
about
public.
it.
What?
I think in particular when people are just stupid about it, they don't even think like, okay, I've touched these other 500 things. This could have the germs on it now. Maybe I shouldn't touch, my phone with it. Or if I do touch my phone
Yeah.
with it, I need to clean my phone.
Yeah.
You know?
They'll touch their phone and then they'll put it up to their face to answer a phone call, and it's like,
Yeah.
what's the point of anything?
Yeah,
I have
exactly.
to wear a mask at work. I wear a cloth mask. My cousin made me some very nice fabric masks, and I am
Cool.
following all the rules. But I do think that the face mask thing gives people a false sense of security, and I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I
Is that
don't
a shout
want
out to Angie because she's listening? Hopefully she's listening. She
I
is.
don't know if
Hey.
she's listening.
Oh,
But
she's
yeah,
she's
no,
in the
she made a
room, but
bunch of
she can't hear
masks.
what
She
you're.
dropped them off on Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
I just don't want people to wear a mask thinking it's going to like necessarily protect them from anything. It's more about protecting other people from your secretions. That's just
Yep.
my little blurb.
Yep.
I'm by no
Yeah.
means an expert.
I mean, I think from like a
Secretions.
public health perspective, it's just the law of averages that you hope on the whole, even with people not doing it right, it's still better than not doing anything at all.
Right,
It's kind
right.
of
Yeah,
the
just
Hail Mary
any
you're
kind of
making.
basic face covering. I mean, and it's going to keep you from touching your own face and infecting yourself. So,
Right.
that's another barrier. But in the sense of actually protecting you from any kind of particles, you would need an N95 for that. And let's save those for the healthcare workers who are providing direct patient care.
I agree. I unearthed a pretty sweet package of N95 masks and kept the used one to use again a few more times and donated the rest of them. So I'm the nerd who actually bought N95 masks, because
I
I
think-
was using sandpaper.
Oh yeah, during our time, our family time alone, Jack has discovered Mario Kart. So this is like his new obsession.
That's pretty awesome.
It's just a little side point I was gonna laugh about because he goes around the couch now. He runs around with his Hot Wheels and his little red tractor that he has, and
He's like a big plastic fire truck.
Yeah, and he pops it up in the air and goes, "Mamma mia!"
Awesome. And you've shown him the one he's playing is Nintendo 64, right?
Yeah. We
That's
plugged up
correct.
the N64, and that's that. He watches me play it or Amy play it, and then he like acts it out.
Awesome.
We brought stuff home the other night to make homemade pizza, and it was done, and I pulled it out of the oven and put it on top of the stove, and he said, "Can I look at it?" And I said, "Yeah, it's really hot though. You can't touch it." So I picked him up and he said, "Mamma mia." And I'm
Awesome.
like, "Oh my God." He's like, "I
Awesome.
just want to say Mamma mia."
All right, sorry, I'll pivot back. So you guys, that's kind of us. And then Chris kind of gave us the lowdown. What about you, John? What have you been doing?
Yeah, John.
It's been
Since
working.
our last recording.
The same thing every day. Staring at spreadsheets. We built a raised bed in the back, so we have like our kind of first garden. We didn't really get to do one last year,
Awesome.
so that's been fun.
Oh, that's good.
And then just I don't know, taking it day by day. Been on walks, been like hunting for mushrooms out in the woods and stuff.
Oh, that's
kind
cool.
of fun.
Dude, that's awesome.
What kind of
I'm
mushrooms?
in the morels.
Oh,
I think called morels.
Morels. Yeah.
Morel.
I don't know. They're little mushrooms.
The morals of this story are eat your morels.
Oh, wow. So yeah,
Does your HOA have any rules against garden
Smiling?
like beds or anything like that?
as long as they're not more than like a foot above the ground, then they're fine.
Oh, okay.
Somebody
So
gotta
I
come
gotta
out with
stay in
that.
grade.
I know they're weird about fences
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff,
fine.
right?
Yeah, no. So I got the fence, we got the deck. Like we're fine there. So as long as I just keep the raised bed down, I'm good.
Bastards.
Cool.
Come around with like
So
a
I don't
little
know.
measuring stick and be
it's
like,
just
"Oh,
fun to do.
Sounds like they're being pretty. They have a pretty reasonable rule about it, considering.
I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like it's an HOA. Like yeah, you gotta submit a paperwork. You wait a while and you do a thing. But like that's my life.
Yeah.
submitting a paper and doing a thing
And getting a thing.
Paperwork is not a problem for you. Yeah.
That's
Yep.
Since applying for college tuition money from the federal government to now, it's just one paperwork after another.
Just never-ending bureaucracy.
Sign and triplicate.
It's my life.
It's a good way to go to world local news. I was going to talk to you guys about. Well, actually, let me back up. When we last recorded, Bernie was still in the race, but I guess that's not the case anymore. But according to a news article I read a few days ago, apparently Biden was cleared of all sexual misconduct.
By whom?
Except for his
Bill Clinton.
inappropriate touching reported by the
Oh, that was
girls.
the New York Times.
Yeah,
They
there
were
was
like,
like
we
some
haven't
expose.
found
That was
any
just that-
sexual misconduct except where he made these women kind of
Except for his
uncomfortable.
sexual misconduct. Sorry,
It was like if he could
alleged.
if it's like if you were trying to be a progressive like 1940s misogynist, you're like, oh, it was fine except for all these terrible things, but those are fine.
Yeah, exactly. Those were
And, like
okay
it was
when I
just
did.
really like the most awkward headline ever. It was bad.
How did we end
It's so
up here?
Yeah, it's the mortal quandary of voting for an asshat, or which asset. I mean,
How did we end up on this topic, or how did we end up with two
With-
rapists?
How did we end up with Grabby Joe versus Hitler too?
I have no idea.
I think it's you've had enough trauma happen in the last 15 to 20 years that you've had enough people question the last 100 to 150 years.
yeah.
And I think a lot of things that have been kicked down the road are coming to head.
Yeah.
This is the big thing is just like Biden, based on what he's done and supported from being a senator, he's now propping himself out as someone who's going to save us from problems he helped create. I don't know. Like I feel like there's so many hot takes about this. What I wanted to say was, and underscore, is at least go to the ballot box this November and fucking vote. Because like there's going to be so many other things on there that if you just don't vote, like at least for your local and like state level election questions and stuff, then it's like it's really going to hurt more. You know, like if you really can't summon the courage to vote for Biden, or you got to vote for a third party for the national, like fine, do what your conscience tells you, but still go and vote. Because if you just stay home, you're just surrendering all your power to the thems, to the others,
to boomers.
Yeah, everybody forgets how important the local and state elections are. So
and all that stuff's going to be on the ballot. So just go and vote, okay? Just go. I know it sucks. Like he's not. Biden is a lot of people's candidate. Fine, more power to them. Like my parents, like if they're listening to this, like I'm sorry, but. To the what's that guy's name from Lovettsville? He's a huge Biden apologist too.
Oh God,
you know who I'm talking about? Flannery. Yeah,
they liked Mayor Pete. They liked Pete, and then Pete dropped out. I remember they went to a rally in Northern Virginia because Pete was he in Leesburg, or he was somewhere close to Lovettsville, and they went and they were all about him. And then right after he dropped out, they endorsed Biden because Pete endorsed Biden. Just like everybody's endorsing Biden.
Yeah.
You can still vote for whoever you want to in the primary. I mean, that's
absolutely.
He's still on the ballot, regardless of whether he dropped out. And I think that's at this point all we can hope for. If like you want to move the party in a more progressive position, then like they need to see it. They need to see you supporting the person who's out there championing that stuff. So just go up and vote, please, please, please vote.
No, I think the interesting question mark now is who's so
VP.
he's promised that he's going to pick a female VP. We're in the Me Too era.
Did he really promise that?
Yeah, I believe he did.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
And we're in the Me Too era where we're no longer sweeping this shit under the rug, or so I thought. And so what female VP is he going to pick that's just going to be okay with these allegations, So I don't see Warren remaining quiet about that.
No.
She endorsed him though. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, she's going to have to whoever the
beep
is going to have to speak to it, in the general, and it's going to be the general is going to be a shit show.
Politics is exhausting
Yeah.
this year. It's just
Yeah.
like I'm exhausted by it, because
I feel
every
like I
day.
just don't have
Just
any
everything.
space
Like I
in
just
my soul to
yeah.
like
Well,
deal
that's
with any of this.
Yeah.
well, it's the problem generally, right? Like everyone's just busy with everything, so
Yeah.
that's why it's hard to. In the best of times, like right now, I just don't.
It's so rough. I mean, every day I'm like, there's nothing Trump can say or do that would ever like surprise me at this point because of
Even
everything he's
Vince
done.
McMahon being a part of the economic recovery
And
team.
then
Yeah, we
I
talked
read
about
that
that the
Vince
other night.
McMahon is in the fucking like advising the president. And I'm like,
Oh,
I just
man.
want to go die.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go sit my head in the fireplace. and
Yeah,
light
I'm
it.
waiting for like, Secretary of the Interior Brutus Beefcake, Like, is that gonna happen next? Yeah. We're one step closer to President Camacho from
Oh, Jesus.
Idiocracy.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. And
No.
I just the thing that really surprised me is that maybe not really surprised me, but just kind of bummed me out is like Fauci is kind of pushing back against the Trump administration, and I've noticed that he's gotten less airtime when it comes to the coronavirus press conferences. And then Trump retweeted this call from somebody at One America News Network to, like, the hashtag was Fire Fauci, because Fauci has
Yeah,
been
saw that.
misleading us from the beginning or some stupid bullshit. I don't know. It's really disheartening.
Yeah, I was like waiting for it. I was like, with all this, every time Fauci contradicts him, it makes me think that like he's getting an itchy trigger finger, like, you're fired.
Yeah, I mean, I'm. It's weird how many news items are just like not like they're a combination of like deeply disturbing and not at all surprising.
Yeah,
A weird
right.
couple of emotions to have. We're really, like there's a thing.
How I felt watching RoboCop.
Right. Yeah.
Excellent. There's a thing called Trump fatigue, like, and it's real. And I
Oh, dude.
only read the news every other day because I just
Same.
otherwise it's I can't. It's just too much.
It's like shock, but you're not shocked at the same time. You're just
Yeah.
like, I can't believe the bar can go any lower, and yet here it is. And I'm not even really that surprised, because this is just, I don't know. I remember when Trump first got
Dog has
elected,
been boiled for the
and
last
there was
4
like a
years.
meme that went around of Picard, and it was like how I feel every day in 2017, and it's just Picard saying "damage report."
Yeah.
That's me waking up
Right.
every single morning in this administration.
Right. I mean, we made the comment about how many times would Obama have been assassinated by now if he'd done like
Or
even
doing
half the things that Trump did.
Oh my, yeah, we would have heard it. We would have heard it a million times over.
Jesus. All right, we can jump off politics. I just wanted to cover that real quick.
Anyway, I just wanted to touch on, this is an article from the Washington Post, March 17th. Biden mid-debate promise to pick a female running mate. So he promised it in the middle of a debate, which I didn't know. I didn't watch very many of the debates, to be quite honest. Stacey Abrams apparently threw her hat in the ring and was like, I'd like to be VP. And I like Stacey Abrams.
Me too.
I think that she would appeal to a lot of progressives. I think that she would be a better choice over somebody like Amy Klobuchar, who's more of a moderate. So it's like, how are you going to pull in the younger progressives that are kind of more in line with like Bernie's ideals? And I think Stacey Abrams is kind of a better choice to do that.
Well,
Just my little
You know who my
opinion.
choice is going to be. I've been a Warren fanboy from the get go.
Yeah, I like Warren.
Yeah,
I'd buy her for $1.
Gross.
Sorry. Movie.
I don't even know if I want to talk about Robocop.
All right, well, we talked about it. We can talk about other things.
I don't know if I want to talk about Robocop is the episode title.
I want to talk about Robocop. There was another topic I was going to laugh at you guys too, and it had to deal with the what would happen if the food supply chain completely falls apart, and like we did have to turn to cannibalism, I was like, okay, so what if they started selling like human meat in the stores? Like, what would be the cheapest
Brand
cut
name?
of human?
Mm. I thought you
Oh
were gonna go
yeah.
with what, like, how would you advertise that? Like, what would the branding
Right.
be for that? Yeah.
It's like, from like a capitalist point of view, because I think this kind of tied into the movie too, or something like that. That was the thought process. It was like, oh, okay, so like, if we had to buy human meat off the store, like I guess the cheapest cut would be like the feet, maybe.
Oh yeah, we were talking about like pickled
Okay.
people
Yep.
feet rather than like pickled pig's
I'm gonna
feet.
Right,
Oh
right,
man,
right.
nope
that's
out of this
outrageous.
one.
I just think human meat would probably taste terrible because our diets are absolute garbage.
Yeah, I have a
I
good
don't.
diet.
Yeah,
I
I don't
mean,
know.
meat eaters generally don't taste good.
The best cuts of me would probably be
Hard
my
cut.
my leggies.
We'd have to be like grain fed and grass finished to
Yeah.
taste good.
Get some nice marbling.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
All right, yep, I'm done.
All right.
Can grain fed and grass finished be the title of the podcast
It's like
episode?
it's like a Soylent Green, but it's like Kobe Soylent Green.
I get massaged
Well,
for
I
15
mean, I
hours a
guess that's
day
true.
to
Yeah,
make
and
my
you get
meat
fed beer.
succulent.
Yeah, and you're gonna get fed beer too. Oh man.
John's gone. He's like, nope.
checked
Kobe
out.
beef, it's people.
It's people.
Oh, geez.
Oh man.
What did we say? Oh, we were talking about presidents eating meat. I know. This is like we're circling back. We're circling back. What did we say about the bacon? What did you say,
Meat
Chris,
cast.
about Joe Biden? He can either touch a butt or eat bacon, but not both.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
he's like old and his arteries are clogged.
Oh well, yeah, because if he's sucking down a bunch of bacon, then we know he's not going to be long for the world, So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we were having two different conversations. It was one about him having his arteries clogged, and another one about him grabbing ass. And so we were saying, there was a really great.
Yeah, do
I
it.
said something because we were talking about Bill Clinton, how he went vegan after. Oh, that's what I said because I was like, oh yeah, Biden needs to go vegan right now so he doesn't have a heart attack in office or something. And then we talked about Clinton after his like septuple bypass going vegan.
Yeah.
I think finding something in this group chat is going to be non-trivial.
Oh, so we watched Parasite, and there is a dish that is really popular in Korea. It's two different kinds of instant noodles mixed together, and it's called japaguri because it's chapaghetti, which is a ramen style noodle, like an instant noodle, and then noguri, which is like a spicy seafood udon. And so the English translation in Parasite was ramen udon. And the joke in Parasite was that's like peasant food, and the very rich family in Parasite wanted to bougie it up a little bit, so they put this really expensive cut of beef into it. So it's been taking the internet by storm. There are like a million YouTube videos on how to make this, and so I made it tonight, and it was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, right on.
Just a little aside
Nice.
while we're scrolling through messages.
I found grab
Probably
ass or
not.
eat lots of bacon, but not both. But yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, trying to dig and find a message out of that group chat is like more than a few.
Needle in a haystack.
No,
It's gone.
it's a
Just
fool's errand.
there was some film news stuff that I read the other day that you might think is funny. Actually, I mean, it was just about Ryan Johnson. It was just something I caught. You know who Ryan Johnson is, right? The dude who did
The man who killed Star Wars.
Star Wars Episode 8, the worst Star Wars ever. And since we know
Yeah.
we're still
Are we going on record with? I thought we were saving our opinions of that for our.
Yeah, we are. We're gonna do it eventually. I just
hold
I
my
don't know
tongue.
when.
I feel that many men have conspired to ruin Star Wars personally. But
He
But
got
anyway,
Luke Skywalker to drink green alien titty milk.
No.
here's a picture
No.
of Luke Skywalker drinking titty milk.
Oh God.
Ryan Johnson is a big pussy about horror movies. That's what it was. Yeah, it says he'll never touch horror, and yeah, the movie Under the Skin, the one with
Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson, is one of the best scary movies he's seen.
You've never seen it?
No, oh God, yeah, go watch
I
it.
haven't.
It's terrible.
It's not good.
All right, so I'm good then.
Yeah, be happy
it's-
if he never makes another movie after Star Wars Episode 8.
Apparently, Knives Out was really good.
Apparently,
Apparently
I'm
he
not gonna
redeemed
see it.
himself
Fun.
with Knives Out. I didn't see it, but
It was fun.
Under the Skin is about an alien who assumes
alien succubus.
Yeah, she wears the skin of one of her victims, who's like a pretty girl, and she lures men into her lair and then eats them, murders them. I don't know.
Question
She's
mark.
naked in it, I guess.
That
if
was
that's
the only
any
good
kind of
thing
draw
about the
for
movie
you.
is you want to see naked
I mean,
Scarlett
that seems to
Johansson.
be
But it's
what I
just
remember hearing about
garbage.
it.
It's absolute garbage. It was really
Yeah, so
boring.
then I'm good.
What's that?
I said, yeah, so then I'm good. I mean, that's what I remember hearing about it. So
Right. And then I guess the only other film thing I was gonna say was let's see, tons of movies pushed back release dates.
Oh
But yeah,
They-
tons of release
Yeah,
dates for
that's gonna be
films that have been pushed
crazy.
back. Like one notably that I was looking forward to was Top Gun 2. And make fun of me all you will, but Top Gun is one of my like all-time favorite, movies from my childhood. And I really would love to do a cast about that at some point.
I mean
You guys
that
ever
when
wanna
that
reach
came out
back?
on VHS or whatever,
Yeah.
like it sold a lot of a lot of people like upgraded their speaker systems so that they could really
Right?
just
That's funny.
have that thing shake their houses. People
One of the
invested-
best,
Yeah.
like musical scores in a movie ever.
It's a great movie.
Even
I
with
tell
all
you
like the
that-
subtle gay overtones.
Are you
Can I
saying
tell you that I've
because
never
of
seen
Kenny
Top Gun?
Loggins?
What?
What?
I know. I know.
Oh, God,
I've
here
never
it is.
seen Top Gun.
Let's all say it. You've never seen Top Gun? You know that's
You've never seen Top
You've
Gun?
never seen Top
Oh
Yeah.
my God, Amy, are you serious? Like, how have I been married to you this long?
That's
and
fun.
I didn't know you had never seen Top Gun.
I feel like every time we talk about Top Gun, I say the same thing. I've never seen Top Gun.
I never remember.
And you have the same reaction every time. What? How did
After
I
this
not know
podcast,
that?
We're gonna go put it on.
No, we
All
can
right,
have
you
a Top
guys
Gun
gotta go
episode. We can
figure this
absolutely
out.
have a Top Gun episode. And I will pay attention. I will take notes. I will not be on my phone.
You better
I will
drink some
watch
of that.
Top Gun with my full attention.
You better drink some of that fancy foam coffee before you watch that snooze fest.
Oh, shut up, dude. Oh yeah, and you guys remember Todd McFarlane did Spawn in the late 90s?
Yep, I like Spawn
Yeah.
more than a person should.
Same. I
Right
loved
on.
it because of what it could have been, not because of the limitations of the technology at the time and stuff. But apparently he's redoing it, or like it's very close to being in production. I was like, oh,
Interesting.
okay, that's cool. And then John posted pictures from Dune, which holy shit, man, I can't wait.
Yeah, it looks pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, as cheesy as Dune was, I'm excited.
Oh my god, but it's Villeneuve, man. He's not gonna make it cheesy. Like he's gonna really ground it and make it look very serious. I mean, the story is awesome. Like, do you
I mean,
ever
that could be cool.
the original 1980s Dune sucks. Like, it really is not good.
No Patrick Stewart with a pug? No, thank you. That's my
exactly.
thing.
I know. If somebody's not riding in a battle with a pug under their arm,
Oh yeah,
I
we
ain't
talked
here
about
for
Battle
it.
Pug
Is it
last
really
week, so
Dune? Yeah.
going back in. Oh, Battle Pug was great.
I wonder if he improv'd that. I wonder if Patrick Stewart's like, wouldn't this be amazing if I carried the pug in this scene?
That
And David
sounds
Lynch
like
was
a David
probably
Lynch.
like, yeah, dude, I'm into that. Do it.
I'm thinking that was David Lynch's idea.
You think so?
Yeah, it seems like just a random sort of. I watched him on a Tonight Show with Jay Leno appearance once, where he showed his photographs. This is David Lynch, and
Yeah.
he had basically taken a ball of wax and made a face, and like a face, put it on a stick, but under the ball of wax was a piece of meat, and then he just stuck it in a box with a bunch of ants, and he just kind of, over the course of a week, he just kept taking pictures of the ants digging through the wax face to get to the meat. and he showed these pictures on the Tonight Show. You know, so it is from that anecdote that I can reasonably say, yes, he probably was like, "Oh, that would be really weird if I put a
Did he
punch."
talk about it like
Hey,
that?
Have you seen the thing on Netflix where he's interviewing a talking monkey where he's like a police officer or a detective or something, and it's all in black and white. It's like a 10-minute short film, and he's interviewing a monkey, and the monkey's got one of those, it's like not really his mouth, it's just like someone's mouth superimposed over where the monkey's mouth is, and it's talking like human.
That sounds wonderful.
It's
I
awful.
Could-
I watched it for 30 seconds and
It's really tough.
it was really hard to get through.
I used to be a David Lynch super fan in like high school and like early college because it
still
was very
am.
like pretentious like art film. But the last movie I watched of his was Inland Empire, and it's just such a slog. Like his movies are just so tiring. I'm like, man, like
No,
okay, I really
I mean, we're
Go
we're
ahead.
talking about two different David Lynches, though. You know, I mean,
I
like,
know.
I think that his of the old stuff that I've rewatched, it's certainly held up, and
Like Eraserhead, yeah. I mean, that's
and
still
here's
good.
this is how much of a nerd I am. I think that his film, The Straight Story, is it's one of my favorites.
Which one?
It's called The Straight Story. Maybe
The
you didn't
Straight
see it. So check that. This is right in the middle of David Lynch's popularity with this really
Okay.
just outrageous and dark movies, and then he puts out a movie. Sissy Spacek is in it, and it got a rating of G. It's a G-rated film about it, and it's based on a true story. It's an old man who his brother he gets a letter that his brother that he hasn't talked to in 30 years is dying. He's 2
Mm-hmm.
states away. He doesn't have a driver's license, and his daughter has Down syndrome, and so he sets her up to look after the house. He rides his tractor
Yeah.
across 2 states to go say goodbye to his brother before he dies, and it's just, and 90% of the movie is just this old dude riding a tractor across like Indiana or whatever, and
So this is
It's
this
a
is one of
lawnmower. It's a lawnmower.
lawnmower. That's right. Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
looking it up right now. Oh my
yeah.
god.
I
so
love
this is like one of David
love
Lynch's
that movie.
like regular down to earth movies, not like Fire Walk with Me or
No,
Blue
yeah,
Velvet.
it's basically this is what I would call the opposite of a David.
Okay.
So David Lynch, who I already liked prior to this movie, he demonstrated that he could make a film that is the opposite of a David Lynch film and could make it good. So yeah, I mean, his new stuff might suck, and that's I probably won't watch it just based on you saying that it's not worth it. But that film is
Well,
that's a
I think
wonderful
it's
movie.
worth it. I could never rewatch it a second. Like I've watched Mulholland Drive twice, but I don't.
Also
It's
not
so
his
hard.
best. Like,
I mean,
have you watched Blue Velvet again? I'm wondering if that.
I think I've seen Blue Velvet once. I actually had a
No,
copy of
Lost
it.
Highway.
I think we should watch Blue Velvet. I have never seen it, and I really like Kyle MacLachlan, so
Yeah.
let's put it on the watch list.
I mean, I liked Lost Highway for the longest time. That was probably my favorite one with Bill Pullman.
Yeah,
But there,
the soundtrack was really good.
yeah,
Hey, that was Trent Reznor, right?
yeah. I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe.
Did you know the original cut of Blue
Ooh,
Velvet is almost 4 hours long?
Whoa.
I mean, I believe it. Inland Empire is
That's
three
a
and a
lot.
half hours long. I think that was also like a problem for me. Was just like the length. It's just like, oh my god, on my brain, I can't do it, David. But I do love him for his anecdote that he talked about people watching phones or watching movies on their phones. He's like, "How do you think you're ever gonna watch a fucking movie on your phone?" So I'm like, I'm gonna put the clip right here.
Now, if you're playing the movie on a telephone, you will never in a trillion years experience the film. You'll think you have experienced it, but you'll be cheated. It's such a sadness that you think you've seen a film on your fucking telephone. Get real.
That's awesome.
So you guys can enjoy that. That's
Oh,
David
God.
Lynch.
Rachel Gates with his, all the quotes about like people with the whatever kilobits of RAM being enough.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, You can't stop it. People are gonna be watching on their phone.
No, he said no. It's more about the experience. He's like, you're just not gonna get
No, I
anything out of
know.
like the size of the screen that you would be versus like going to a theater. I'm like, yeah, I feel you, man.
I mean, it's really a different it's a different medium. You know, your phone. It should be a different medium. You know,
Right.
I'm okay.
Agreed.
It would be interesting to see, 5-10 years from now, are people editing and making films, more for people who are watching on smaller screens.
Right.
Has anybody?
You can't
That's why
stop it.
that's why TikTok took off so much. Because it's like you pretty much exclusively watch TikTok videos on your phone, and it's meant for your phone screen.
Yeah,
Dude, that's why
And-
that's why they cut videos in 9:16 now and like that
yeah,
the tall format, and I
and
just
and
want to kill myself. I'm like,
and I laugh because it's such a disparity from, I think the cutoff is probably 27 years old and 6 months, or everybody that's
yeah.
that age or older is like, oh, it's, vertical video sucks. But then everybody else, kids prefer it, or that's what they shoot in. I would like to see, maybe even as a, like as a joke or something. It'd be interesting if somebody actually built a movie theater, with a vertical
Like a
With a
aspect
phone
studio.
ratio.
screen?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
make it
same
like a,
perspective or whatever.
like make it
Like
like
the-
Theater 12 at the Alamo, where it's like it's really nice,
Yeah.
and they still bring you, your food, but you could just, and then maybe they just show TikTok videos on it.
That would
Kinda
be
funny.
that'd be so meta because like there was
Yeah.
that joke, that PSA joke with the little puppets that say like
Mm-hmm.
vertical video sucks, and like what
Yep.
will we do if like movie screens are tall.
The group is people who don't give a
Vertical video syndrome is dangerous.
And it's like, but people have actually talked about doing that, so it's like it's not far off.
And maybe film a, something in like the old like 50s style, like, it's like filmed in tall vision, or something like that.
Maybe they just put all the chairs on the wall.
Right.
It
Or
just
they,
like rotates everybody.
Oh, in Technicolor.
oh yeah, the theater would be a lot more narrow, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. They'll re-release Star Wars again. The
Yeah.
skinny edition.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's right.
God.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And maybe
Jesus, sorry.
with that Dolby would have to like redesign surround sound,
Yeah.
too.
Listen, all I have to
Couldn't
say
you
is that
X-Wings?
I hope that I'm dead when all this happens.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to be alive for that. I don't want to be
You're
alive
out
for
it
that.
either.
You're not gonna show up when I open up the Tall Vision 12 in
Yeah.
the theater.
No.
Well,
No.
Chris and John, what have you guys been watching lately, though? That's what I meant to ask you.
Oh, what have I been watching? I've only watched one thing, and it's
Hello?
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Was it summer of '84? Did I get the year right? I watched
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I love the soundtrack in that movie.
And well, it's funny.
It's so very good.
I remember back when we were doing the soundtrack for your and Amy's film, that you were.
It's our film. Yours too.
Yeah. That right on. That you couldn't get enough of. You really liked the music in Summer of '84,
Yeah.
and so I was intending on watching it and paying close attention to the music to kind of get a more of a handle on what your aesthetic was. Maybe arguably something I should have done when I was making the music for the film with John. But the film was so good that the music, I ended up focusing on the film. I
That's
thought
good.
it was a great film. So thank you for saying the title of that film to me over and over again. It finally sunk in.
All right. Well, here's another title I'm gonna recommend to you that you watch.
Summer of
because,
'85, the sequel.
is the Clove Hitch Killer.
That's what I was going to recommend.
Uh.
It's a little it's total seriousness the whole movie. You know how Summer of '84 it starts out and it's kind of like, is it funny? I can't even remember. I feel like it's been forever since I watched it, but there's like a little element of comedy between the kid and his friend, I think.
Yeah.
And Clove Hitch Killer just completely plays it straight the whole time.
They're very similar premises, but I think Clove Hitch was slightly better film, but not as good of a music score, obviously. But I think that's because they had bigger actors. I think they had cast some bigger people because I think it was mostly unknowns in Summer of '84.
Dylan McDermott was in Clove Hitch Killer. He's the dad.
Yeah, Dylan McDermott was in it. And he was really good.
I haven't been able to watch much of anything. Amanda's been watching Vikings.
Vikings,
nice. So it's really good, and I like it a lot. And like she watched The Lost Kingdom or The Last Kingdom, is that what it was?
The Last Kingdom, yeah.
So she watched that, and then so I was like, well, and she was like, what's next? I was like, I don't know, you can watch Vikings. It's like similar universe or whatever. And
dude,
but I've watched Vikings, but I don't remember like hardly any of the plot lines clearly. So like as I dip in and out of her rewatching it, I'm like more confused, and then sometimes I'll be like, I know the thing, and then like, and then I'm so lost again. So it's been a weird experience.
That's been us on The Walking Dead. Michael's been rewatching The Walking Dead, and I just kind of pop in, every 5th episode or whatever, and I'm like, I completely forgot that any of this happened. Who are these people?
I think I skipped a lot of episodes back in the day too, and I was like, oh, this is why.
Well, no, and if you've seen Vikings, like there's a big timeline jump from like the first season to the most recent season, and like I don't know, because I think she was like, how many seasons are there? I was like, I don't know, there's like 10. I guess there's really only like 6, maybe.
Yeah.
But isn't there like a 10-year time jump between one of the seasons and the next one? Because all the kids are young, and then the next season they're all grown.
I can't even get to the films that I need to watch for the show. I'm not gonna get to 9 more seasons of Vikings or however many else there are.
I know shows are hard. Like I don't want to commit to shows because they, like you said, the amount of time and effort it takes to get through them all. It's like unless you're just gonna binge watch it straight through on a weekend, and not do anything else, like
which we often do.
I mean, yeah, but
we did that for Tiger King. Have you guys seen Tiger King?
Oh yeah, Tiger King. No, I definitely saw that.
Are you refusing, John?
No, I can't.
It is a wild ride. If you ever want to reconsider, it'll take you on a wild ride.
My head's crazy enough. I don't.
It's like if you took the whites, the wild whites of West Virginia, and put tigers in it.
No, I mean, so like Amanda watched it, so I kind of vicariously watch it, I guess, and like I can't.
Maybe we need to get Amanda in this.
It's too much. Yeah, no, she's probably more interesting.
What have you been watching, Amanda? Oh, movies and shows and things.
Yeah, no, she ran away with the children. She was here for a minute. But...
How's she doing during this whole thing? Is she seeing patients at all?
She's seen some, like more trying to focus more on some of her like medical weight loss stuff.
Because you can do all that as like telemedicine, retail. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And so and they're looking at some other ways they can expand into telemed and bringing on people and that sort of thing. So I mean, they're trying to figure it out. They're also looking at they can get like some of the antibody tests. So they're looking at do they start offering those?
Oh, cool.
The same price point that some other people are playing, but just like what kind of availability are you going to have is really what it comes down to, whether she can actually get them or not.
Is the antibody test, is it still like the horrible nose swab? Or would it be like a blood test?
It would be a blood test.
Oh, okay.
And so it tests for like the two, and
I think if you
just cut me out and put what she said.
I think if you have IgM, that means you had a recent infection, and then IgG is like you had an infection at some point in your life.
Yes.
So, do you think that, like, if she gets these antibody tests, the people who have the antibodies are going to be useful in any way, like donating plasma or anything like that?
I have no idea. I think that seems to be one of the things people have brought up.
Mm-hmm.
But that only helps as far as treatment goes, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I think that they were looking for people who had gotten the coronavirus and then recovered because they wanted to try to like filter the plasma out of their blood to get the beneficial antibodies to help people. It's just crazy times we're living in right now.
Man, no joke.
Well, that makes sense. And I hope that's something a health department is doing. Amanda's more offering it for like if she can get them, just so people that have peace of mind, because that's what people are looking for
Yeah.
now.
I know. I'm in this Facebook group for nurses, and it's a lot of nurses talking about how what their hospitals are doing as far as like protecting them since they're providing direct patient care. And I've seen several people say, "Hey, this person is looking for plasma because their family member has an active COVID infection and they need help fighting it or whatever." So, I mean, I guess that stuff's pretty useful.
So let me pose a question to you guys. What's the first thing you want to do, or the first place you want to go when this is all up?
That depends on when it's up. I have a number of concerts that I had tickets, 3 shows that I had tickets to that
I
I
wouldn't
can't
put
go to.
any timeline on any of these
Yeah.
hypotheticals.
Yeah, I was supposed to fly to Salt Lake City and go see one of my favorite bands, and I couldn't do that.
Hey,
So
wait, all
I'd
right,
like
hold
to.
on a
I'd like
second.
to do
Hold on a
that.
second.
What
Before we
were you gonna
proceed,
do?
If you can imagine the before
all right,
times, what would you
hold
want
on.
to do?
Before
What
we
do you
proceed,
want to
I want to imagine a timeline. I know it's unrealistic, but let me have my fantasy that this thing is going to be over before the middle of September, so that I can go to take my family to Watermelon Park Fest. I mean, I know it's not going to happen, but so that's. But I'm going on a vacation, I guess, is the short answer.
Yeah.
No, I hear you.
I'm going to go spend some money at John's Hotels. That's what I'm going to do.
I just want to go get a beer at Smoketown with you guys.
Oh,
There,
fuck
that
yeah.
too. I want to go out and get a beer with people, and
Just
definitely
something
watch
simple.
movies.
Yeah.
It's so funny because like I am kind of a homebody. Like I don't really mind isolating
Right.
myself as long as it's my choice. But now that I like can't do anything with anybody, even if I wanted to,
Yeah.
it's really depressing.
Well, and that's what's funny though. Like, I mean, I built the raised garden bed, like we are talking about. Like, we still like had a project and planned stuff and did things, but it was like completely different than how
Right.
like a project like that would have originated before.
Right.
It would have been just Amanda and I wandering around Home Depot, like, oh, we need to do this, and then I just then somehow have to put it together in my head and buy a bunch of stuff, and then end up having to go back 3 more times, right? And with this, it was like we had to like plan it, set it up. I had to do a curbside order at 84 Lumber, go
Mm-hmm.
pick everything up, get it dumped in, and it's done. And it was fine. It was fun,
Yeah.
but it was different.
Similar thing, but I went to the extreme where I kind of planned out my next 5 projects and just ordered all of the lumber for it at once.
That's amazing.
I think I might have overbought on some stuff. So if you guys need some 2x4s, swing on by.
Need new wood?
Yeah, and I got some trim left over if you want some like crown mold.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, I'll pimp out my raised garden bed with some crown molding.
The bougiest, the bougiest bed ever.
Yeah, I'm just trying to because I had to be on basically no exercise all winter for my heart surgery to recover. So spring was going to be, hey, we're going to get out there and exercise, and so I'm trying to do that and stay away from other people, and so far so good.
I would say that, or at least let me suggest that you guys sound like you're working so hard and doing all these cool things, and it's like you're keeping really busy. But you know what? Take a breather. Watch a movie this weekend.
Oh, watch a movie. You're saying?
Watch a movie.
Yeah.
Is that the homework assignment that you're giving them, Michael?
No, just a suggestion.
Yeah.
See, I think we need to take a page out of their book and
Yeah. Hey,
do
Amy, I've
more
been
outside
digging in the
things.
yard. I planted all those seeds, and I was like, "Hey, come help me get some dirt."
Hey,
No.
I know.
I'm not taking responsibility for this.
I know, but I work all week and I'm tired, man.
You're like, I'm
Things
not
have
doing
just
that.
things have been really stressful at my job lately, and I just feel like I haven't been
Yeah.
dealing with it very well. So
Oh.
I just kind of come home and I lay on the couch until it's time to go to bed, and then I just get up and do it all again the next day. Got to get out of the. I just have to find some momentum, and I'm not really sure how to do that. So
I
any
think
tips and tricks are greatly appreciated.
I have one, because I think it's about continuity of practice if you're trying to do
Yeah.
something. So if you, okay, so Angie and Daniel go for a walk every day, and oftentimes she is beyond exhausted. She's already worked a long shift. She gets up super early. She's cooked dinner for the boys, and then by the time she has like almost no gas left, but they go for just a walk down this one block where there's a cul-de-sac, and they go back and forth a couple times, and I'm just noticing that, by just kind of really keeping the bar low, and this has been the case for me too, and trying to hit a rhythm, eventually you'll be able to build off of that, but even if you're not, you're still giving yourself that 5 minutes, 10
Right.
minutes, so continuity of practice, I think it helps.
Thank you. That's
Mhm.
that's kind of exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, it's
And
beating
that's
inertia is
totally
hard.
like,
Yeah.
I stole that from a monk who taught me that in a meditation class. That was not my idea. So
Somebody once said that like a good way to beat procrastination and inertia is just ask yourself, what do you want to do when you wake up? And it's like, if
Go back to sleep.
if that's what you want to do, then do that. And it's like, because really a lot of it just ends up
Yep. That's definitely
you
those days.
thinking that there's something that you need to do
yeah,
that you're putting on yourself, and then it's like you're feeling all this regret and angst as a result of
Well,
that. And
I think a lot of the angst comes from you're trying to always align like what you need to do versus what you want to do,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
The more of those things are aligned, you're not going to be exhausted because you're just going to wake up
right.
and it's just all great, right? If everything was perfect. And so, I mean, it's just always that balance of wanting to do what you have to do, I guess.
Exactly.
for sure.
Yeah.
I haven't found a person that's been able to do it and not lie, but
And maybe if we could, maybe we can do it weekly, or maybe bi-weekly leading up to the show, so we can almost have like a pre-show. Hey,
that's not a bad
hey, it's
idea.
good to see your
Yeah.
face. Let's
Like
all
a
get
prep session.
yeah,
Like, hey, let's all get on the same page.
yeah, like, hey, Chris, did you actually
Yeah,
watch
that's
the
a good
fucking
idea.
movie this time? That sort of thing.
Don't forget to watch the goddamn movie.
No,
Yeah,
are you kidding? I hope he doesn't watch the movie because I have really good movies that I'm going to assign him.
Can we make him watch that? What do you remember that horrible movie that we watched? Stripped to Kill.
Yeah,
About
or
the
like
murderer in the strip club.
no, let's make him watch like Mausoleum or
Demon Wind.
Demon Wind. Yeah, he could watch Demon Wind.
All those
Oh, man.
all those Vinegar Syndrome movies.
Yeah, just any Vinegar Syndrome movie will, and I have a bunch of them. I'll be like, here, you're watching this.
Now, I prior to the pandemic, periodically we would go over to my friend Terry's house and watch. He'd have some really shit movie, and we'd just kind of suffer through it and laugh at
Oh,
it. So
dude.
I can
They're the
take
best. Yeah, good
I
bad
can
movies.
take yeah. I mean, I could take whatever you throw at me. It might hurt me,
I don't know.
but I could take it.
Anytime you can kind of, Mystery Science Theater.
Right.
So it's a good day.
I will say, if you guys get a chance to do your thing and see it on VOD or download it or whatever you do on there, check out Underwater, because I thought that like if you liked any of those cool underwater like horror movies from the late 80s, early 90s, like
Underwater,
Deep Star
huh?
6 or
Oh yeah. Okay.
check out Underwater.
If you love Kristen Stewart making the same fucking face
you know
for
what,
2.5 hours.
Kristen Stewart made two faces in that movie.
It was like 1.5 faces.
I
mouth
just did a
open,
search.
mouth closed.
She did like 1.5 faces.
I just did a search for the
I'll give it a
movie,
chance.
and I'm looking at if you switch over to doing like a Google image search, you'll see. I literally just see her making that face over and over and over again. That's hilarious.
It was actually pretty fun. I liked it. There were just some minor things that I would have changed, but it's a good little throwaway, stupid like fun.
She did fine. She did fine. She was adequate for the job.
For people
Alright.
coming out of Twilight.
I guess that's what I want out of life.
Yeah. What was it? Because Robert Pattinson, the other Twilight guy, he did a movie that was similar, except he was wearing a spacesuit and it was on a spaceship instead, and it was called High Life. Oh my god.
I don't think he makes that many faces either.
He doesn't, and that
We
movie.
should take the same premise and just make the setting just someplace absurd, like you're suspended in Jello or you're at Chuck E. Cheese or something.
Right, yeah. Well, I guess we can start to wrap it up. You guys sound like you're getting out of gas, and I know it's getting late on a work night.
I think my dog just farted on me.
Because John sounds like he's ready to slip into a coma.
Yeah, no.
So on that note, I guess we will say goodbye. Thank you all for listening. This has been Burrow Safe Nerd Alert. I'm Michael, and I will just sign off by saying
Suck
nothing.
it. Suck it, Trebek. Oh, wait, never mind. That's not
Oh, good.
I know. I'm loopy.
I'm Amy, coming at you live from my bed. So I'm literally gonna turn off the microphone and turn the lights out and go to sleep.
Yep.
Nice.
I'm John. Be safe.
Thanks for sticking it out, guys.
Yeah.
It's been good.
Whenever I stick it out, I'm usually thanked. There we go. There's my
Oh,
innuendo.